Welcome everyone to the next episode of the Catributor podcast with today's guest Clyde the Monkey. You want to introduce yourself?
Again?
Yes.
I'm Clyde. Hi. I'm Clyde from Twitch.
And
Was that good
you're
enough?
even getting a cat.
Oh, I have a cat there now? Oh yeah, I'm getting a cat, yeah. But I want a cat picture. There's no Cosmo there. Can that be fixed? It's too late for that, huh?
Sorta.
Oh, god damn it. There you go.
I mean, the Jedi can edit one in, I guess.
Somehow, yeah. I should have done that last week with Yusril, actually. We were joking at one point about cat ears. I should have remembered to put cat ears on him.
No, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I could just wait. I can just hold the camera like this. So there you go. You have a cat picture up now. Yeah, that works, right?
That works.
So cute and fluffy.
I'm kind of stretching my arms a little bit. Oh, fuck it. No.
That's fine. That was clear enough.
That's fine.
I'll just screenshot that. There you go. So, yeah.
We have decided to start once again like with some dev blogs. I think and then go to the usual drama that just never ends. I guess we can just start with the release of with the announcement of the Novorossiysk that I'm horribly mispronouncing. Like there's a new Russian battleship announced, and it's basically a Cesare at T6, a modernized Cesare.
Yes, it was one of those ships that was given as war reparations to another nation, in this case, the Soviet Union, and. Well, we don't know if it's going to be anything as fearsome as the Tier 5 Italian one, but it will presumably at least have better AA.
You mean the Tier 7 one? Yeah, you mean Tier 7. Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
There are some stats, but I don't actually know the regular Cesare stats, so I'm not sure how they compare. Also, it would be interesting to see they say 16mm plating, but I don't know what the armor of the Cesare is, to be honest.
If it's going to follow that same pattern of having basically the double bow, which presumably it would. I don't know. I'm actually just going to bring up the gun stats now, see if there's how much it compares.
Yeah, you have like 35% fire chance, which is at tier 6 probably pretty decent. So like that Cesare is pretty good at starting fires. It looks like this ship will be as well.
So 35% is the same. The range is actually a bit better on this, which is not that surprising. It's about 1,200 meters, 17.5 kilometers. That's good. The Sigma, however, is drastically different. Cesare has 1.9 Sigma.
Oh yeah, this is 1.4.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's going to be, who knows.
What was the hull pull on this? It's not up yet, or
4,500, which is they are identical.
Okay.
I mean, if you pull up the dev block, there is like ship characteristics at the bottom where you can bring up the stats.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
AP and HE damage are the same.
There we go.
So the shell characteristics might be basically the same, apart from the Sigma. But the secondaries are they definitely have a better range, and the AA goes up to what, 4.6, and it's like 3. I know it's the same range. I thought it was 3.5 for some reason. No, 4.6. Looks like the DPS values are a bit higher, but it definitely doesn't look like it's any kind of AA powerhouse.
Surprise.
So yeah. Let's take a look. Speed's a little bit better. For some reason, it's got nearly an extra knot. Turning radius.
It also has like fast damage control team, so it will have like the Russian damage control. It looks like.
Oh yeah.
Surface detectability. Now this is interesting. It does look like it'll be better.
What is it on Cesar?
It is without Captain the captain skill, it is 13.27, and presumably this also has without captain skill. On here, it is. I was looking at the wrong place. 14.7. It's actually worse then.
Which is alright because the Cesare had like pretty good stealth.
Yeah, with Concealment Expert, the Cesare gets to just under 12 kilometers, which is pretty good for tier 6. So yeah, the biggest change by far, like the standout figure, is that Sigma.
Yeah.
So we'll see. If it retains the armor, it'll still be decent armor for a tier 6, but it's going to be a bit of a shotgun.
A bit. I like those ships.
Still reasonably fast for a tier 6 battleship, though. Nearly 28 knots, and of course it'll be faster with the flags.
Yeah, how many 30-knot ships are there? You have the Puff. Well, Prince Ettrick.
There's that. Yeah. The Normandy is, I think, like 28.
Normandy is pretty fast.
That's pretty fast.
Oh, yeah, it's 28. So Puff is still the fastest then.
Yeah.
Was it the Puff 30? Was it that with the flags?
It might be with the flags. I can't remember.
Wiki. Oh, accept cookies. Let's see here.
You know, that was, I think in a dev Q&A a while back, somebody asked if you couldn't make the lower tier US battleships faster. Because let's be honest, these days, a lot, like all newer battleships feels like they are pretty fast, well, except for the new US ones.
Yes, yeah.
And Wargaming's response was like, no, they could never do that because that would not be historically correct, which is such a...
The only other fast ones-ish at this tier, Dunkirk, obviously.
Yeah, Dunk, yeah.
I think Mutsu's actually not that bad. Mutsu's 26.5. Andrea Doria's 27 knots. So it's definitely at the upper end of that tier in terms of its speed. Mobility at that tier in a battleship is definitely unusual.
Yeah, so it's 28 knots, by the way, for the Puff.
Yeah, Normandy's actually 29.5, so I guess that's
the fastest. Okay.
Yeah.
Clyde Catributors. I told you, Marcus, we're not talking about that anymore. That's over with. Okay.
No, it doesn't look like it's going to be. This kind of feels like they've got the model now, so therefore.
Yeah, it's probably not that exciting of a ship, right?
I suspect we'll have different modeling for the AA mounts, maybe, but that it doesn't seem like there was any radical rebuild of the ship, and I don't think there was in real life either. So.
Well, I guess we can move on to like the waterline update, where they announced some new things. And I mean, the most interesting thing I guess they announced is that they're going to test super ships in ranked battles. And after they success, instead of the grand battle, they want to now bring the super battleships into the main game. And not just that, they want to make other super ships, like they say. They want to have among them French and American cruisers and Japanese and Soviet destroyers, and those ships are going to have access to special mechanics that differ from adjustment fire present on battleships. So, I mean, first of all, once again, they have completely given up on ranked as a serious game mode, and they're now trying to throw everything they can into it just to test stuff out. And the other thing is, how on earth is this gonna work? Like, in the special event, obviously, you had to spend tokens to be allowed to play super battleship, so that's why not everybody was always playing super ships. But if they now have super battleships, super cruisers, super destroyers, like they're basically what just better normal ships? Why would you play the normal ships that are currently in the game then? Why would I play a Kurfürst if I can play a Hanover instead?
Yeah, everybody's queuing up like when we had 2 separate ones. Took forever to maintain it. No, how long did it take to get the tokens? Like when we were CCs, we got the tokens to play them almost all the time, but It took a few games to play one.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, they're not saying if there will be. They're not saying if there will be a token mechanic again, but they want to bring those ships. I mean, it just seems so stupid, like to basically have tier 11 ships and tier 12 ships, however you want to call them, and make them tier 10, and be like, well, I mean,
maybe they're just gonna make a permanent mode for super ships only, like tier 11 and 12. I don't know.
They would be better off in their own thing, really, but I don't know.
Yeah, you can see like in War Tunnel, like when they went beyond Cold War vehicles and so on, like you kept like you had World War II vehicles fighting Cold War's vehicles. Like, really doesn't work that well, and it's a better idea just to separate them. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like tier 10 is ideally balanced right now, but if you just outright add super versions of the ships already, then it's like it feels like a mess.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I hope they make a separate mode for that.
Yeah, ranked.
Well, I don't play much ranked anymore due to the new type of ranked, but I feel bad for the guys who actually does play ranked now. I feel really bad for them. I don't know.
Well, it must. I mean, it doesn't say anything about it, but there must be some. There'll be something to stop them being spammed in every game. So I wouldn't be surprised if we had tokens coming back in some form for that.
I mean, I guess they could have like a permanent token system where you I don't know, there are super ships in the game and you can only play them like once every 10th battle or once every 5th battle or so on, so that people need to keep playing other ships. But, well, I guess with the tier system, it's not like the game is supposed to be fair in that sense, but people have been like often complaining about being low tier and such, so I feel like it would be better to move away from a system where some people are just in better ships than others and not move towards a system where we have even better ships. I mean, imagine you're a tier 8 ship, right? And suddenly you fight not a tier 10 ship, but a super tier 10 ship.
Yeah.
And there's the thing, I mean, they didn't do this last time, and again, it doesn't mention it here, but they're not categorized separately from normal battleships in terms of the matchmaker, as far as I can tell. And the fact that it's now talking about adding cruisers and destroyers of this super variety in as well, which goodness knows what that means. I mean, we've already got large cruisers in game, so what can be even bigger than that? Who knows? Destroyers, at least you could have destroyer leaders, I suppose.
Well, as it is now, like the super cruisers, I've always been moaning about these. Imagine being a tier 7 cruiser and you face one of the super cruiser tier 9s. The Aegir and Asuma and
Alaska.
Just Alaska.
Yeah.
Alaska was the first one, yeah. Just being a tier 7 in that meta, it's like having a tier 11 or 12. It's the same thing. Just it doesn't match. Unless just age spam, just kite away. It's nothing you can do.
I'm intrigued about the Japanese super destroyer, and in my mind, I'm imagining a super Shimakaze with even more torpedoes.
Oh,
who knows what projects they had?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can add planes to it.
Just don't say it, it might listen.
Hybrid destroyer.
Oh, no, it's out. Oh.
I said the cursed words.
Don't say anything. If you don't want it in the game, don't say it. Don't mention it.
We do have some news on this page about the winter or the holiday dockyard.
Oh, yeah.
As well. So we know for sure that's going to be the Marlborough, and that you'll be able to get the Repulse as part of that as well.
Did you guys test that before we left?
No.
You didn't? I played a few games in. When I was mid or top tier, it was actually pretty fun. But bottom struggles a little bit.
I think I played 1 or 2 games in. I know I played a couple of games in the Repulse, but I can't. I think there are Marlborough only been announced, hasn't it? Nobody's played that yet, so
no.
Good stats. Yeah, Repulse was. I don't know.
Like I was lucky with matchmaking now, so
Yeah.
But has it
Only
been
the
changed
first two.
since then? I mean, I
think it
don't
has.
think
Yeah. There's been some changes
before
in
nerfs.
the test ships thing.
But I mean,
Consistent.
like if it's the mid ship, that's nice because you know it's a ship that's actually new and that you can actually get for free.
And
the way the dockyard's
also
usually designed.
of some historical importance.
Oh yeah, so that's a
maximum
nice
speed
choice.
bonus. So it was nerfed. Maximum speed bonus of the engine boots consumable decreased
Yes,
from
that
10
they
to 8%.
changed. Did they change the heal as well, or am I misremembering?
Not on the first one. Changes to ships, balance changes. I don't know. No. Yeah, it's the only one I can find.
That might be somewhere further back.
Changes to task ships. That was the 23rd of August. Might have been some earlier than that as well. I don't know.
I mean, we
I'll
will
look
see.
up
It's still some time until Dockyard will come out, I guess. And from what I remember from the Marlboro, we've only seen the stats, but it wasn't that interesting. But obviously, that first has to go through testing, so we will see. Also, we'll have to see how achievable it is and how much it would cost you to get it, right?
Yes. Marlborough, for those that weren't here last week, is the one that's kind of a super KGV. 4 quad turrets with 14-inch guns. But also
But the
a heavily
shitty
nerfed,
fire chains.
Yes, really heavily nerfed high explosive compared to the KGV.
Well, I'm not mad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but also it means, like, what are you going to do with 14-inch guns against angled targets? Like, even against cruisers at that tier, you're really going to struggle.
Especially if you're not designed as a close-range ship, right? Well, what are you going to do at range if you're high explosive and your armor piercing sucks?
And as far as we know, it doesn't have super-duper pen angles on its AP shells. I mean, it might do, and it just isn't in the preliminary stats that have been given, but...
Yeah, it has happened before.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot. Let's see. Yeah, that's the only information I can find on the repulse when it comes to changes. Unless it's on very far back, yeah.
Yeah, but
possibly just misremembering.
It might also just still not be final, so there might be more changes coming.
Yeah. Hopefully buffs, though. But, you know, the tradition says that if it's a free ship through the dockyard, it's going to be mediocre, maybe bad, but usually mediocre. So we'll see.
That's true. Most dockyard ships haven't been that impressive.
No.
But we will see.
There's only a few one I actually liked.
You know, and I'm thinking about it. Like the what was it? ZF something was alright. I don't really play that much, but I thought it was an alright ship.
Yeah, there was the ZF.
Yeah, ZF. ZF is good. Yeah, that's the one. That was the one I was thinking about. And I don't like German destroyers that much either. Like the regular one. I do like the new type, but the ZF was actually pretty fun.
And, well, I mean, the ITEL Friedrich...
Don't tell Grunty I said that. Don't tell Grunty. Yeah.
The ITEL Friedrich got a bit better after it was released, because when it first came out, it had those really, really floaty AP shells that had super high drag.
And it also had really good AA back in RTS.
Yes, well, yes, it also had the really good AA, which...
Manual AA with PEF, and secondary build because you have BFT and AFT, and with the secondary slash AA build.
You can actually, they've gone back to a place where you can actually now...
Yeah, it's decent.
Do secondaries once again. Kind of. I mean, it's not the same as it was before, but...
I mean, for the 3 versus 3 brawls, I was using like the ITEL Friedrich with a full secondary build.
It's a faster Bayern. Bayern is pretty fun and tanky and shit, but the problem with the Bayern is the speed and mobility compared to the PEF.
Yeah,
but they have the same guns, but PEF has lower.
No. PEF has smaller guns. They're just under.
Yeah, the smaller guns. Yeah, that's what.
Yes.
Well, the Bayern
PEF has slightly better secondaries, but I think that's it. That's the only advantage it has.
Yeah, but I do like the PEF actually as well. still do. But there was a period before the crew work. Well, what do we call it? Captain skill rework. Before that, it was kind of But once the AA skills and so on came back, it's kind of better there as well. Plus the secondary skills. There was a period where I didn't play the PEF at all.
I mean, I'm not playing Gear 6 that much, but you know, it's not necessarily the best ship out there, but it's at least a fun ship.
Yeah.
That and the ZF, and I don't think I really play other Dockyard ships.
The 7 Provincienne isn't terrible either. That's an okay cruiser. I mean, it was a lot more fun when we first had it for testing, but it's still, even when it got a bit nerfed, it's still a pretty.
Yeah, but it's I think it's just shit compared to the competition. I would much rather play the regular Tech Tree ship because the Provincian, it's just that the airstrikes it has are worse in my experience, because the planes that are actually, you can shoot down those planes.
Yeah.
So they often just don't deliver their payload.
I don't put too much stock in the airstrikes anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, but then you are just like, your guns are basically worse than the other cruisers you could have, like Cleveland and so on. I mean, you got the heal, but still, it's just like you feel like not a very good ship if you can't squeeze those airstrikes in. And that's, I feel like, easier with the Tech Tree one. Also, since you have like the light cruiser guns, you kind of want to take IFLG maybe. And that means your captain build won't work for any other Dutch cruiser, so it's one of those ships where you might need a specialized captain for, which always sucks. So it's just, for me, it's just like a downgrade from the Tech Tree.
I gotta say though, like have you tried the strike system at all on the Provincian? It's kind of nasty actually. I do sat still though in my Atlanta. Was yesterday on the stream. Was me in Atlanta? No, it wasn't yesterday. It was today with played with McAvity. And I was in Atlanta, and that was the 7th province or whatever it's called. Dunking me on the side, 2 strikes. Took 75% of my health in my Atlanta with defensive on and AA skills and everything, and just nuked me out of orbit. Suddenly I was down to like 25%. It can be a little bit nasty that airstrike.
Sure, but it's like. It's harder to hit than the regular ones because it's smaller and it has less planes, so it's easier to reduce them. I mean, the Atlanta AA is just sad these days, but and the Atlanta is also one of the few ships where you can really penetrate. A lot of ships that you're going to airstrike, you just have to rely on fires because you can't get the direct damage in. So it's very niche case scenario that you can really nuke a ship like that.
I think I'd run Demo Expert and IFG on Provincian. I do kind of like it. It feels like a Tier 8 Atlanta, somewhat, without the radar. But
maybe I just kind of like it because it's got a heal, and that's a pretty valuable commodity at Tier 8 on a cruiser. There's still
there's a heavy heal. I forgot about that.
Yeah, true, but you get that on the Tech Tree as well.
Yeah, also, but true. I don't like the guns that much on the Harlem.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It took me like 20 games in the Harlem to kind of find it okay to play with the guns. But the Provincian was fun out of the box for me. But I do love my Atlanta and Booster and all of the light cruisers.
The thing is, it has like worse light cruiser guns than the other light cruisers. It's just that with light cruiser guns, you notice it less, I think, because they pew more in general.
Maybe.
But it still has like worse guns than like a Cleveland or something similar.
Can't complain about the AA though. You know, it might be okay. I guess it's sort of power
compared to today's AA standard. It's pretty decent. Compared to the back in the day standard, it's pretty fucking garbage. Yeah. Sorry for the swear word. Beep. Wait, you can do this. No,
it's okay.
Oh, wait, does it work there? No, you didn't hear beep. God damn it. Oh well. High tag, by the way.
Other news were, graphical improvements where we have already seen a few pictures a while back, like with that volcano. And they say water simulation will be completely reworked. This means new realistic waves that constantly change their form and height. Surveying ships, dynamic sea form, and all new water effects. That seems good because right now I think waves, they pass right through your ship, right? They don't crash. Like it's like they they don't interact at all. They
ghosting you.
just they
ghost
goes
each
through
other.
you. And like more realistic looking water would be really amazing. I've wanted that for a long time.
But I still remember the last big graphic buff when it comes to water was the wake water behind the ship. I remember we were like, oh, it looks so good. But this looks even better. Again, the arts department. carrying. I look forward to that.
Interesting to see if it changes the. I mean, when they did all that revamp as well, then they redid the splashes, and the splashes looked a lot nicer.
That which actually helped the destroyers.
Yeah.
Until people started modding it and nerfing it again, people with mods could take away the new splashes and get the old one back. That was actually legit. Like when I was shooting DDs with battleship or cruises, that water splash actually helped covering up the DD if you missed. So it's a pretty neat way to passively buff the DDs. I know some BB mains here, but that was a good change. Come on. Looking at you, Ethan.
Hey, my favorite ship is the Shimakaze.
Well, yeah, same.
Well, there we go. I haven't actually watched the video yet. I'm just watching that section now, and yeah, it does actually look quite nice.
I look so forward to that. I thought for some reason that was this patch, but I was a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, but looking forward to all of those graphical improvements. It's always nice if you have.
You know, like the game's gonna live for a long time, so it's always nice to see good improvements like that.
Like if we don't get new maps, at least we can look at pretty older maps, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, in theory, we're getting at least one new map at some point
next year.
Yeah,
that makes it 1 year every 3 years. One map every 3 years ish. No, yeah. When did we have the last map? Now that's like 2 years ago.
It's said in most games, if they say, hey, we're going to do one map a year, people would be like, what is this shit? Like, why aren't there any more maps? And in World of Warships, they're like, you know what, in a year's time you'll get a new map, and people are like, yeah, this is so amazing.
I remember every time you got a new map, you got so fucking excited. But now it's like, if it's a new map, it's usually just an old map reworked to a worse version of itself. That's for me, at least. Like Strait and Island of Ice getting worse and worse and worse for every rework. Just give me a brand new map.
Okinawa got better with reworks, I think.
Yeah, Okinawa, I do agree with that. That, like, was it A cap that was up north or C? I can't remember. The up north cap, at least. Yeah. I remember always that little alley where everybody went. Oh, I think that's one few reworks I liked.
They could. There is still like Mountain Range, I think, could use some rework, and
Tears of the Desert.
Tears of the Desert.
I guess it's slightly better than the first version.
Yeah. But it's like they also. It's not just they used to update maps more often. Like maybe not always for the better, but sometimes for the better. And
I was just gonna add that they just added 2 new maps to War Thunder, and that adds up like 3 or 4 maps this year. I'm just saying, yeah, back to Warships. Yeah.
Meanwhile, yeah, it would be nice if we got more maps again and others reworked. But unfortunately, they are all putting the work into subs that nobody has asked for.
Yeah.
Well, they had some guys back in like 2013, 14 asking for subs, I think.
I mean, it was a meme back then, you know.
Yeah.
It was like just in every Q&A or so you throw in so when a sub's coming because everybody knew like they weren't coming. But that's the problem.
I didn't hear anything. Yeah, I didn't hear anything about people wanting subs from any of my community or others' community. I rarely see, when is subs coming? Nobody asked for it. No, according to Wargame they did though, so I guess solid minority, you know.
When the meme becomes real.
Oh, yeah, like I did try the subs, but I didn't get into it. I haven't touched them. I played one match in co-op, and that's about it. Just too boring to face.
I've only played against them, and yeah, even in co-op, it's like every other match gets dragged out by an extra
It's like playing a
2 or 3
division.
minutes.
It's like playing divisions with Mr. McCavity, likes to drag out the match, won't give that mid-tier kill. It's like having a bunch of him on your team, like just going each other direction so you don't get killed. That's basically what the subs are now.
I wonder if they'll ever realize that they could just add anti-submarine warfare to every ship, and it would be a good choice. And it would make it a lot easier for them instead of, which ship gets it? Give me the dartboard. We'll find out which ship gets anti-submarine warfare now. Oh well, I guess we've mostly covered the new announcements there, and unfortunately, it's back to some more drama.
We were
warships
kind of
can't help themselves.
Like not Sunday or Monday, I can't remember what it was, but it was.
Yeah.
You messaged me and we're like, "Oh, I hope maybe this week we won't have any drama and we can just talk about. We'll have to come up with some topic that isn't wargaming, pouring gasoline and lighting it on fire." But no, here we are once again. Everything is in flames.
I haven't seen the podcast you guys had with Senpai, so I'm not sure what you talked about there, but I'm guessing it's about today's drama, like that was that current date.
Well, that has happened since then.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to hint about. You had the August massacre. Now it started with September. There was no news today.
Yeah.
Last
week we talked about the statement. We were actually a bit positive, right? We talked. There was this long statement from Wargaming, and we were like, okay, Wargaming isn't trustworthy anymore, but it sounds like they might want to fix things. And then it all went.
I'm sub right. Yeah, I can. Okay.
They kind of re-threw Gneisenau under the bus. And Gneisenau is a name that cropped up before because he kind of offered himself up to Little White Mouse as a kind of he'd obviously been pushed to get in contact with her and essentially scapegoat himself. And it should be pointed out that he'd already moved to World of Tanks at this point, so not even on the World of Warships team anymore. But he had been, and he'd been part of the team that communicated with her over the whole Yukon debacle. But he absolutely wasn't in charge of the whole thing, and he definitely wasn't kind of responsible for how it went down and how Little White Mouse and Chobi were ignored. And so it was 100%, here's the scapegoat, he's going to make an apology, and then it kind of died down a bit. And now they've just decided to up the ante by firing him entirely. Once again, he works for World of Tanks, so they've kind of reached across the org chart and slapped someone away from another studio, which is, that's crossing some managerial lines, to put it lightly. So God knows what's going on behind closed doors at the moment.
No.
But that's not all. Let somebody else do the next bit.
There's more.
I mean, let's start it. The way I understand it, right? Gneisenau was a member of the North American team for World of Warships, and he was the one who originally approached Little White Mouse and Chibitsu with the idea that they design a ship. I'm not sure if it was his idea. It might have been he who came up with the idea, but he was definitely the messenger. And he was a person they both trusted. And after the whole debacle blew up, they defended him, right? Little White Mouse Chibitsu said, it's not this guy's fault, right? Don't throw him under the bus. He is an amazing person and one of the few people we actually trusted Wargaming. Now, during the whole process of designing the Yukon, he got transferred to World of Tanks, so he wasn't part of the project for the whole time. But because he made the initial contact, they tried to... Well, when it initially blew up with the Yukon, they tried to throw him under the bus and be like, it's all this guy's fault. He did all this and he made mistakes and he didn't contact, he didn't properly hand over the data to the next team and so on. Which wasn't true, but Wargaming tried to scapegoat him and it didn't work. And now, months later, they've just fired him, even though he was working for World of Tanks now.
Gotta love it.
Hold on. So then, the same day...
Wait, there's more, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, Pointy, yeah.
What happened at that point was that his immediate manager in the WGNA office resigned in protest with some very, very strong words. I think that's what's up on the screen right now.
Yes,
Oh,
although I'm
no.
not sure how easily it's to read.
Yeah. Don't you have the wait? Let's see if we can link the direct one. That was on a tweet as well, right? I think I retweeted it.
I've
It was
put it in
yesterday,
chat.
wasn't it? Oh, you did put it. Oh, there you go. What's that? Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Now, it's definitely worth noting that there's been a kind of steady stream of people. I mean, turnover is normal in this kind of industry, especially
yes.
the customer-facing side of things. But it seems to have been that all the well-liked, all the popular people, the people that actually seem to genuinely care about the community, have just kind of been steadily forced out by the work culture, or they've left because they didn't enjoy working there, or they didn't enjoy the management, or whatever. So this seems like the latest in a line, but this is maybe the most kind of direct that we've had in somebody quitting and being incredibly critical as they do so, because most people have been pretty like diplomatic, at least in front of the season, have been pretty professional. So it kind of goes to how extraordinary that this action has been perceived, of firing Gneisenau like that somebody's been prepared to put that aside and be so critical of the company that they've just resigned from. Because I mean, this is actually probably quite restrained compared to how they're actually feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to like read out the whole thing, or
yeah,
because there's some quite spicy language in there.
I mean, we can read the spicy parts, or we can read everything, however you prefer.
I mean, a lot of it is kind of the language that you would expect of, I'm sorry to not be doing this, and I've enjoyed some of my time here, and I'm proud of the work that we've done. And...
Yes. I can read some of the more important bits, like
yeah.
Here he says in the third paragraph, I am making this painful decision because of the recent termination of an employee on my team that I believe to be a kind and competent individual for reasons that I personally perceive to be an illegitimate and incredibly persistent campaign to unfairly scapegoat him by the leadership of his former team. And in my opinion is desperate to have anyone at all to blame for the most recent incident of what I perceive to be a toxic corporate culture perpetuating a circle of serious errors that stretches back at least 4 years, well before his time on the team, and which causes well above his pay grade. Which are already pretty spicy words.
Yeah, that's pretty strong stuff, like directly criticizing the management in St. Petersburg of World of Warships of having a toxic corporate culture. This is from someone inside who had to work with them on a regular basis. So this is definitely, not words to be taken lightly.
Yeah, and I mean, then he goes on, the team member in question did make mistakes, and when asked to apologize for them publicly, despite having left their team, he stepped up and did so, like the honorable individual he is. In spite of this, senior members of their team, in my opinion, waged an unrelenting backdoor campaign to get him terminated from my team. I can only describe this behavior as cowardly, contemptible, and shitbird-like. And yes, that's if you use the word shitbird in your resignation letter, the shit has hit the fan.
Yeah.
And then he also states that the majority of wargaming are good people, and that it's just a few that basically sour the whole company. Which it makes sense. I mean, most of the workforce in any company are the grunts, and all it needs are a few leadership positions to create the stuff that we have here, which is obviously sort of sad. And it's also kind of like the studios are in different locations, right? World of Tanks headquarters is
Minsk.
Not in St. Peter, is in Minsk, yes, and World of Warships is St. Petersburg. And the company headquarters itself, I think, in Cyprus.
Yes.
And
Well,
somehow
there's a lot of Russian companies there.
somehow the St. Petersburg staff has managed to have connections to the World of Tanks side, and the top management or whoever was involved there managed to reach out to their counterparts in the World of Tanks and got somebody fired despite the objections of the direct leader of this person, right? The direct team leader was like, he has resigned now because he got overruled and they fired one of his people for no reason. With pressure from World of Warships on the World of Tanks team, which is just so mind-bogglingly insane.
I wonder why we left the CC program, by the way. I just wonder why, huh?
It's that's one of the things where
bubbling in the background all the fucking
really
time.
A big question mark over how this happened exactly, because these are separate studios. I mean, they're under the same parent company. They are both kind of divisions of wargaming.net.
Yeah.
And somehow the management at St. Petersburg, and we don't know who exactly. I mean, it could have been Sub-Octavian as the chief producer, or it could have been his boss, the guy that's the head of the studio. But somebody, of that level has somehow been able to get a guy over at World of Tanks fired for reasons that to their direct boss seemed completely unjust. And this isn't, I mean, as the statement says, and as we know, this is the thing that's been playing out over several months. So this is not just coming out of thin air. So it really does kind of beg the question of does the management at St. Petersburg have that much pull, or is the corporate HQ at Cyprus somehow involved and somebody's been pulling some strings there?
It could really just be friendship between like senior management in one company and another if they hang out together and so on, and they're like, you have this guy that we want to get rid of. But it's not just the fact that they were able to pull it off. It's like the extreme pettiness of it, because they can't imagine, like they can't expect this to give them good publicity, right?
It doesn't do anything. It doesn't prepare anything. It doesn't reflect well in any way, shape, or form. Doesn't look good to the community. Doesn't look good with on top of all the press they've already had, and yet they went ahead and did it anyway. So they really did pour more gasoline on the fire.
Like they've done this before.
Yeah. And it's mind-boggling. Like, why would anyone think that this would be a thing to do? I mean, it does come off across as being just, like you said, incredibly petty. Like somebody's held a grudge against him and they've just gone out of their way to try and punish this guy, even though it kind of goes against any kind of good sense or logic.
I mean, it doesn't work as a scapegoat to the public, because like Little White Mouse and Chubitsu have defended this person from the beginning, right? And they tried to scapegoat him already and it didn't work. So they can't have done it for the public. So it could be that internally they got pressure from somewhere even higher up, and they're like, you need to punish somebody needs to lose this job, and they were like, okay, which person don't
this
we
guy,
like?
We've already tarred and feathered this guy, we'll throw him out.
So it could be that somebody pressured them to do something, and then they decided to internally scapegoat him to get away with this. Or it could just be that they genuinely were
it might even be to avoid, it might be grudge settling, it might be, it'll look worse if we have to fire someone from our own team. I don't know.
But like they basically chauffeured the shit to a different hill even. It's like that's the... I mean, I could see it this way, right? So basically, I think it might have been Gneisenau's idea to start this whole project, because he was the one who initially reached out to them, and it's be like, we fucked up this idea. If this guy hadn't, and it was a great idea, right? It was basically a no-brainer idea that would have made Wargaming a lot of good publicity and money if they hadn't mishandled it, right? They took basically a golden idea and turned it into shit. And now the people who have turned it into shit were like, well, if this guy never had this amazing idea, then we couldn't have turned it into shit. So clearly it's the first person's fault, right? It feels to me like this. It's like, okay, if we just get rid of people with good ideas, then we can't turn them into shit anymore.
Maybe. I don't know. There's no kind of rational explanation for all this. You know, if you think about it in terms of people being petty and vindictive, then sure, but that's not what you want in terms of people managing, you know, a company that you work for or a company whose products you enjoy, because nothing good is ever going to come of that. And I mean, here we are.
The thing
nothing
is,
good has come of it.
Wargaming has reacted very little rationally to this whole thing, because what with the initial problem, right? One thing that Wargaming always declined to do was to add the sack whale camo to the game. So this is a camo that they designed for the Yukon that is ready and made, that they could just implement to the game, and it would be very easy, it would be very quick, and would come to no downsides. Wargaming actually only had upsides, right? Wargaming had decided to put the camo in. It would have made it a small bit with the community, like the community would have approved, Little Might Mouse would have been happy. And it would have only
might have been too strong of a word at that point.
Happier than right now, right? And it would have been a show of good faith, right? It would have been a move that cost Wargaming nothing and got them a lot. And they so declined to do that. Until the very bitter end, the mouse was like, I'm going to walk out this door now. And they're like, sure, but we can't give that camo into the game. And there is really no reason to it other than just being vindictive or petty. Or if you want to look at it like this, it could be that, like, Wargaming has never treated this apology as like an apology, or as like in reality, right? The idea is that the community and the computers and the company, we should all be allies, right? We should all be out there to make the best game. And a mistake has been made, so everyone should come together and be like, okay, how can we fix this? But Wargaming went into this like, no, you're our enemies, we are at war. And we might be able to negotiate a ceasefire, but we will never totally surrender. We will never accept all the demands. And it's like, what this is? This isn't like 100 war. This shouldn't be like a surrender negotiation. This should be like, how can we come together and make it better?
I mean, we can definitely look back at the last like however long and say that they've come at this with the wrong mindset, and it's all blown up in their faces. And they keep with that, right? No matter how often it blows up in their faces, they just make one more petty step after the other, which is so, I don't know, mind-boggling.
Where did it start? It started with the PR, right? That's like 2 years ago now. That was the big fuck up they did.
There's been, Puerto Rico.
Well, you had the whole ARP event where Europeans got not cheap for super hard missions, but other than that one, it started at the PR in my head, at least. Where the real shitstorm started, where like you had developer. No, who was it? Was it Victor? I think it was Victor that talked about how PR was designed for the guys who doesn't have jobs and are disabled.
Oh yeah. I mean,
because it started there. I think. Wait, what happened with Wargaming? What the Warships in St. Petersburg? Like from there and down.
It went pretty downhill from the Puerto Rico disaster, because in previous things, like you remember, like the Christmas convoys, like, I don't know, 4 years back or something.
Oh, yeah, you had that one.
Then they changed it, right? There was a big, I think there was like before the regions were all unified, and it was like was something only done for NA and not for other regions. And then there was like big outrage, and then Wargaming was like, okay, we changed it. But with the Puerto Rico disaster, Wargaming was like, yeah, we are so sorry this all happened, but we won't change a thing. Like Wargaming, it was then when they were like, basically, well, we are sad that this outrage happens, but we aren't willing to like move even a little finger, right, to fix any of this mess. All we do is to say we will be better in the future.
We are sorry that you're sorry. Is what they said.
Yes, we are sorry that,
and it's been like the same over and over every time.
We're sorry that you feel that way.
I'm so sorry that you feel like this, but I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna
the point where we can believe in their sincerity. I can put it that way. It just comes across as rather hollow.
You know, the sad part is, I think in the same year of the Puerto Rico was like the Benham, right?
Yeah.
And the Benham was quite a bit of a grind, and the feedback was like, this is an insane grind. It would be a nice event, but less grind, please, okay? And Wargaming is like, yeah, okay, we listen to the feedback. in the same year they did Puerto Rico with an even worse grind. That's how well they listened to the feedback. And then they were like, yeah, maybe we should communicate. But who would have thought that you guys don't like insane impossible grind? And yeah, it just never recovered because they have broken like a major trust and they have kept just making empty promises since then and never actually improved. They have even gotten worse.
Yeah.
I mean, we've kind of hit the stage, and I think this has been, I can't remember if we've talked about it previously, but like it starts to feel like things, it's just not going to be better unless the management changes, unless the people who are at the top are replaced by other people who actually are able to be a bit more flexible and not have this kind of defensive mindset.
As long as it's not how they are now. The opposite of what they're doing now, just to sum it up.
I mean, it could probably be worse. There are probably definitely ways it could be worse.
Well,
but,
we did talk about what we don't want. Do not say that, because now it's going to get worse. We did talk about this earlier, but I digress.
I mean, wasn't there also what I've said previously? Didn't like Victor again grace the Russian forums with his presence and just told everyone that basically they are just so great and that the people, content creators are just stupid and they think they know how to make a game, but if they actually had any clue, they would just kickstart their own games and run their own companies, basically.
Yeah, this is the guy that's basically the head of the studio.
Isn't it Victor? I think it's Victor. It's him that's been really active all of a sudden.
Yeah, he previously,
Victor.
I'm pretty sure it was during the Puerto Rico.
It's Victor Badovsky.
That's the guy. He was kind of, I think it was during the PR fiasco, and he basically was kind of more or less dragged away from the keyboard because, again, he was just making things worse. And somehow he's somebody has, I don't know, they slipped up and he managed to get himself on the CIS forums and was saying all this stuff, and it's just kind of, it's not gone down very well apparently from what we've been told. So yeah.
Well, I mean, if you go to your official forums and just insult the entire player base, it's usually not gonna go well, right?
It's that levels of, it's like it's the level of argument that what were they, Digital Homicide were making when they tried to sue Jim Sterling, and the whole thing of, well, you can't criticize the game if you haven't, if you're not somebody that's makes stuff yourself, which is just an inherently idiotic argument.
It's like,
you can't. Yeah, like if you apply that logic to anything, it just falls apart so quickly. Oh, you can't criticize this food unless you're a professional chef.
Yeah,
or
if you
can't
go to a
criticize this film
restaurant
because you don't make your own blockbuster Hollywood films. It's like, what?
If you get served burnt food, right, and you see it's burnt, you smell it's burnt, and you taste it and it's burnt, and you go like, hey, you've served me burnt food, and they're like, well, how would you know? You're not a chef.
That's a good analogy.
It's just,
I like that one.
I don't know, but that's the guy. That's apparently the level this guy is working at, and that's part of the management problem. Clearly, right there. It's that kind of attitude. So it's just ridiculous. It really is. All of this, I mean, this especially was so avoidable. There was no reason for this to happen whatsoever.
And again, the press picked it up. So it's
there's been Kotaku and I think Massively OP who kind of covered it originally. I haven't actually read those articles yet. Oh, there's Business Insider now as well. Not Business Insider, PC Games Insider.
Yeah. And like massively overpowered, I think had one. It's once again making the rounds. And the thing is, we don't know if it will stop by that, right? Because now, obviously, one person has resigned. And there have been at least rumors or so, or things on social media where you think about maybe more people might be thinking about that. Like the other question is like we don't know what's going on internally by Wargaming, right? If they have the reach to get somebody fired from like a different office, that speaks pretty much of rule of fear. Like what kind of statements are people that currently work at Wargaming are receiving, right? How much pressure are they under? And how afraid are they that they get terminated themselves, right? And this is probably not like a healthy work environment. If you're going to ask yourselves every day in the morning, am I going to get fired for my boss's mistake, and my boss makes 2 mistakes a day, that's not really looking like a healthy job to have.
No, definitely not. And I would almost love to be a fly on the wall at the moment, because I imagine there's some fairly strong words flying back and forth, and probably some people up at World of Tanks especially not happy. And I have to guess the NA office as an entirety is probably really not happy at the moment. But will anything actually come of it? Who knows? We have absolutely no idea, but God knows we're probably going to be still talking about more drama next week at this rate.
Possibly. I wonder what would they do if, like, because wasn't there like a person that recently resigned from the NA office anyway, if they'd lose even more staff, it's like, what are they going to do? Because how easily can they replace people there? Or is Wargaming like going to handle it more from a different office?
I mean, especially how much it's been in the press, it's like, especially if they're having to try and fill these positions and get new people in, people are going to be like, do I really want to go and work for them though?
You could expect somebody who is going to work in the video game industry to have at least heard or read Kotaku, right? And if you've like recently read those articles about the toxic work environment, how easily do you even get new people? And if you get new people, you probably don't get the experienced ones, but maybe just new ones that need to get some because like most jobs these days expect you to be 18 years old and have 5 years of work experience. So maybe they are then desperate enough that they'll just or maybe they'll just take a lot of new people who have absolutely no experience because that's the only one they can get.
Yeah. Yeah, it's looking darker than our NA office. It's been what do they call when people go in fast and they get out again from the office? I can't remember the English word for it, but
Exodus, maybe?
I mean, maybe.
When you have a lot of people leaving at once.
They don't stay for long.
Yeah.
I think the longest one was Fam. Fam was there like a long time. So after she left, it's been a lot of in and outs there.
Yeah, the NA office seemed to have a lot of people who didn't stay for very long. Now, of course,
we've heard from,
like them.
I mean, just talking about what people like femininely have said publicly, I mean, it doesn't sound like it, even before all this mess, it doesn't sound like it was a great place to work in terms of very much sounding like a kind of like a second class office or a second tier office compared to the kind of Russian speaking side of things. So I don't know. It might be. I mean, I've forgotten his name already. CabMech, was it?
I can't remember his name.
Him leaving as he had. CabMech. There we go. It might be that. And this is pure speculation on my part, but it might be that this wasn't out of the blue for him. It might be that that Gneisenau being fired was like the last straw, and he was just like, right, that's it. I've had it. I'm out here. We don't know. Short of being able to talk to the guy himself, we have no way of knowing. But
unless it's
possible, this is.
Usually, if you're very happy with a company and how it is run, then you don't like resign that quickly. But
and you don't make that kind of public statement as you're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just that he resigned, it's like a public statement calling behavior of others as cowardly, contemptible, and shitbird.
Yes.
It really speaks of not a very healthy corporate environment.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a great place to work. Maybe in Prague, I don't know. The guys there seems happy so far, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe it's going to be a shitstorm from there as well soon. Just wait.
We have had.
Now we have something to talk to next time.
They've talked about later in September. They're going to give details of changes, reforms to the CC program, but I don't know. That guy kind of feels like a band-aid at this point.
Yeah.
Unless there is serious talk of other structural changes at St. Petersburg, then it doesn't really look good for the company in terms of the game's long-term health and in terms of health. The health of people wanting to actually work there.
Especially in North America, there seems to be, or at least on the surface, it seems to be like Europe has a better working relationship maybe with St. Petersburg, but it's also that Europe, I think, has shown a lot less initiative in the years, right? Because in NA you often had things like there was this bounty hunt events, right, where you could like people like CCs that participated, and if you sunk them in battle, you got something. And it feels like that NA had a lot more events on their own and a lot more like independent things that they tried to do for the region. While Europe
I want to defend Comic Croissant here. I asked about the same thing. The reason why Prague is not doing the same as the NA office is because Prague is doing all of the tournaments, which is King of the Sea and so on. They put all of their effort into that. Well, NA did the Kog event, the Bounty event, and they had some sort of other event as well. That was their like reason why they didn't do the whole Bounty stuff. I kind of wish they still do it because, well, then again, I don't know how much work is behind it though, so I wouldn't. Yeah, should probably not say too much about that since I have no clue how much effort.
Yeah, me neither, but I didn't know that was one of the reasons. I mean, that sounds plausible if they do a lot of work.
Yeah, they did a whole Conway and Croissant did a whole town thing for Prague. I'm not sure if you guys were there. No, you guys. I don't think you guys were there actually.
No.
They asked for CCs to join in voice, and everybody could ask questions. Is when I started bitching about us not being able to test ships anymore, and I got the whole reason why they didn't do that. Yeah. And I asked the same thing about the Bounty event, and apparently that was the reason why they didn't do it. Would be nice though, because I don't see like once a year you can do that. I'm kind of why Bounty event or Kolgi event, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah,
it would be nice. They do a lot of good shit with the King of the Sea, but I'm not that interested in the King of the Sea.
It's almost like that needs to be its own separate team, and
it is a niche thing. Like, it's probably not the niche thing, but it's still something that focuses on only one set of audience. While Bounty and so on is for everybody that plays the game. So I was still kind of upset about that, but it is what it is. That was their excuse, at least, that they were doing the King of the Sea, etc. But yeah,
I was just thinking. I mean, it felt like the NA office was maybe a little bit more creative, a little bit more independent, and I have a feeling that with
they did good.
It's not something that is valued in this company, right? If they want people to just toe the line and not come up with their own ideas, and if it's not coming like from St. Petersburg, then I'm not sure. Like, it just feels like there is a lot of more fight between like the NA office and the headquarters, and obviously I don't know why. It's just, I guess, a theory.
Yeah, they did a good job, the NA office.
It sort of ties in with what Fem has said publicly about the kind of the gap between the kind of Russian speaking side and the English speaking side.
And it could also be why they have so many staff changes there, because if you have a lot of new people coming in with good ideas and they're like, oh, and we could do this and we could do that, and then somebody on top says no, and you're like, why can't you do that? And you just no. If the internal communication also works like that, then you pretty much get probably you are not so happy anymore if all of your ideas just get smashed down and you can't actually feel like you are restricted in doing your own job because you always need to go call Russia and they are saying no. But once again, it's speculation.
A little while back, I mean, we're talking sort of 2017, maybe. There was a guy that came in on the EU side as like a new, I can't remember what his title was. He was like a producer or something, and then like 6 months later, he was gone. And there was heavy speculation that he'd wanted to, because he'd wanted to talked about wanting to shake things up and do more based on player feedback and stuff like that, and that hadn't gone down well in the World of Tanks office at that time, and so he just kind of walked out less than a year later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's all just it's very disappointing. We're all very disappointed in you, Wargaming, St. Petersburg. So we're all gonna tut at you and waggle our fingers, and maybe that'll change things. I don't know. We really do just have to hope that somebody somewhere in Cyprus, presumably, is paying enough attention and takes this all seriously enough that.
Yeah. I mean, the only hope we have, like, if news media again picks it up, and if maybe other people work, if it really turns into a bigger story, and if they maybe lose even more staff over this, that at some point somebody at the top steps in and be like, look, guys, you can't continue like this, right?
It certainly, I think, having it highlighted in the media certainly helps the pressure, as we've said previously. And the fact that they keep pointing the gun at their own feet and pulling the trigger repeatedly is not a good look. So we'll see. But we're just kind of stuck in this odd position at the moment where like speculation is all we have, and kind of vague hopes that somebody somewhere will approach things with the seriousness and sincerity that is needed to try and fix things in this situation. But given what's happened so far, I don't know if I particularly have faith in that happening.
I had hopes with that whole announcement thing they had when they did the whole and the Q&A and everything, and then somebody got fired. It's like, no, well, there goes that shit.
Yeah,
it's the.
It didn't even take a week for them to fuck up again after they promised to do better. It's like, at this point, it's like, really, come on.
Hey, at least it was not in the same week in their defense, I think. Wait, was it in the same week? No, they did a Q&A. The Q&A was on the Thursday with that Sub-Octavian.
Yes.
And then the firing happened on Monday, probably? Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah, well, it's not the same week, but it's within a week, so...
It's been within a week, so... But it would be even worse if it was with the same week. Same week number. It's like, uh-oh. But, whew, they did good there. At least they pushed it to the next week. Within 7 days.
Well, at least until it came out, because I don't think we have the exact day when it happened, right?
Oh, they're so great at this. Oh, it's like they've been doing it for years now. But they're getting better and better for every time. So next time it's going to be within the same week. Just wait. Next week, it's going to be something. 2 times. 2 things in the same week. Just wait.
Well, they could just announce it end of stream where they promise to do better.
Well, better how? Better at doing worse or better at doing better?
You mean that needs to be specified now?
Yeah, they need to be specified. Not specific, I mean. Oh.
We promised you to do better, and in our eyes, we did. The spreadsheet says we are actually doing better, so...
Yeah. Our spreadsheet with our certain focus group, we are doing better. The focus group is the main managers.
Well, we actually sold more loot boxes this week, so you know what? We're just going to randomly fire some more people. That clearly is a winning strategy. 100% correlation between firing people and more loot boxes.
Oh.
I mean, there was like this Reddit post when the whole drama started, where somebody was like, Wargaming is now going to introduce the Apology loot box, and where you can just buy a loot box and get a random Apology in it, like, it was a communication error. Oh, we are sorry you feel that way.
Yeah. They've been good at this, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we might be just about done in terms of
Covering
actual
the newest
stuff
drama,
to talk
yes.
about. Yeah. Before we drag this out too much longer.
Yeah, and for once, we've actually kind of kept the time frame we originally planned.
Kind of, yeah.
What is it, 1 hour?
Yeah,
Didn't we go
originally.
like 1.5
Well,
last
still
time?
over an hour, but not that far over an hour.
Like
Yeah.
1.5 last time we did this.
Which is like, for us, that's like only half an hour.
10 minutes ago-ish. Well, it technically I've gone through three bears. Well, wait. Oh, yeah, 3 bears. So, yeah. A little bit on the desk.
Yeah,
But
I mean, or do you have something to add to or talk to this whole mess? I think we've covered
I
it
can't
mostly.
believe I'm going to say that, but I think we covered the shitstorm. I can't believe we said it. We did it, but I think we did cover it. Unless there's been anything right now, let's just go on Twitter or Reddit. Reddit.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
Wait. Give me a chance here.
Maybe
I'll
there's
find
been
something.
in
Just
the
wait.
past.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
scroll down a little bit here. No, nothing so far.
It's good.
We only have
We'll surely make it another week until this blows up again.
Nah, the only thing I can find is a wise man. Do not give money to wargaming. I'm not sure if you guys seen this, but wait, hold. Naked chat. There we go. It's pretty
Send up real life feeds for accounts. Well, I mean, there is at least one, and as you see, there isn't much movement on it.
Oh yeah. Same with mine. Yes.
Sam's knocked over everything he can from the tables, so he's now just sulking on the floor next to me because I'm not paying attention to him.
I wanted to mention that. Why do you have a cat bed on your table? In my house, cats are not allowed on the table.
It was next to... I don't actually use that table for eating, though. I'm bad. I just sit on the sofa with...
Yeah, but you know he's gonna think everything is a table. That means everything in the system. Not saying that cats always think it's theirs, but yeah, you get the point.
I mean, I do keep him out of the kitchen so he won't dance on the worktops, but sometimes I forget he does that anyway.
Well, they do that anyways, even though you tell them not to. So
yeah, I did have my cat bed over here next to the computer, and then he started shunning it, and he doesn't even lie on it there anymore, so it's just useless ornamental cat bed.
I never had a cat that liked cat beds. They always use the beds. I'm pretty sure the cat is gonna follow me to bed no matter what.
Sam is currently just sat on the floor. I find him just in random places sitting on the floor sometimes.
I mean, the one cat bed
sofa, and he's got my chair. He likes to sit on my chair sometimes, but
Fumble never did that. Fumble always sat on side. Fumble always sat on the floor behind the chair, so you could see him on the webcam on the stream. I just sat there just for hours and just staring at you while you're sitting there mumbling. See, that's Fumble, but longer hair. Fumble.
I'm about to get clawed to death here. He doesn't like being picked up.
Oh no!
Well, the camera's down. Well, the camera.
It's the one cat bed my cat tends to frequent quite a bit is the one that's right behind my monitors. So it's especially in winter, it's rather warm there, so they like to hang out behind my monitors, I guess.
Sam doesn't like to lie on top of the UPS sometimes, the uninterruptible power supply, because I guess that puts off a bit of heat.
Yeah, PSU.
Look at that fluffy tail.
Oh, is he showing the ass to you now?
No, it's showing ass to the monitor.
Make sure he doesn't do that to webcam because toss.
He did that last week, actually.
He did.
Right at the end, there was a lovely shot of his bum as he went past.
Yeah, Fumble did that every time with me, like climb on the shoulders, and then you saw his, like, you know, he's behind us in the camera. Like, it's tail down.
They're so charming. They're so delightful.
Yeah, I love it. And then they turn them on. I smell my butthole. No, I'm good. I can't wait to get a cat again. I haven't had a cat in 3 years now. No. Yeah, 2 years. He died like a year before I moved here. So it's been actually 3 fucking years. Jesus.
And now it's only a few weeks until you get fumbles.
It's 1 week. It's on a little bit more than 1 week. It's not this Monday, but next Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So I've taken vacation off work as well, so I can be home with him. Because I can't. Because when I'm working, my daughter's at my parents' house, so house is empty, and I can't be alone in at least the first month.
Yeah.
So the first month I've taken a month off. Took a vacation out. So make sure he should be fine though if he's in like a room or whatever, but you never know. They probably get scared if they're solely alone.
He probably likes to have his servant around.
Yeah, he needs a servant.
And feed him.
It's as much about getting you trained as it is the cat getting to know his surroundings.
I don't know, like my cat kind of fed himself. Like every time I stream late at night and I have the window open, and he always came in with mouses and stuff and ate it in front of the cam and stuff. So I don't know, he kind of fed himself. So I'm fine.
I would only have to put the camera down a little bit and you would get a good shot of his bum right
Oh,
now.
nice. No, I see pink. No, yeah, I see pink. I see pink.
You're very classy, Sam. You're very classy.
Clyde will be on poop patrol. Yeah, for the first time I actually have the litter box inside. Well, I usually have it when they're a kitten, but when they get older, I usually teach them to go outside to poop. I hate the litter box. But I bought the new one with the box on top and shit. Maybe it's better, I don't know.
I mean, my litter boxes are like covered on top.
Yeah, it's probably better, but I still fucking hate it. I prefer it when I go to the neighbor's garden and poop in their rose bushes. It's much easier that way. I found it at least. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like you get used to it.
Yeah, I guess. I hope. So I'm probably going to be in poop patrol. Poop patrol. Especially in the start. Oh, God. He's going to be 11, not 12 weeks old, but I wanted him 1 week earlier. It's going to be fine, I think. It's usually 12, they say. But it fits bad with 11 for my work schedule, so.
I kind of skipped over most of that I adopted Sam when he's like, what, 3 now?
3 years.
I got him as an adult.
Oh, you did that?
Yes.
Oh, how's that going on?
It would have been lovely to have him as a cute little fuzzy kitten ball.
Yeah, but it's more like it's easier for him to get used to you and you to get used to him. So I've heard though, but it should be fine.
It's the thing here is that they do rehoming kittens as well, but the kittens always go really quickly, and then like the adult cats that they have, like
they all have their personality
because everybody wants the kittens. So I kind of felt a bit.
Yeah, it's I kind of feel that sometimes as well. It's a whole personality thing when you have them as kittens. Like they kind of grow personalities with you. It's weird, but I wouldn't mind adopt one. But like my friend, my daughter's uncle, their kitten had it. No, the cat had a litter, so there was like one boy there. It's like I'm gonna get him. It's mine.
I mean, that's kind of how I don't know if you saw the little clip I put up of the collie pup. But that's kind of how my parents ended up with the collie pup, is because my stepbrother was getting one. And then there was one puppy in the litter left over. And my stepbrother was like, well, it'll be so nice if you took this last puppy, and then we'd have we'd have the brothers and they could see each other every now and then. And my parents relented, so now they've got a hyperactive collie puppy.
I actually have my parents' dog here now. I'm not sure if you guys saw her earlier.
Oh yeah,
we have her like a couple of times a month probably. Yeah. My daughter she needs to have her, but every time we get the dog up here, she goes to the room, closes the door, and my dog has to sleep. And the dog has to sleep on the couch because my daughter's gaming. She's playing Fortnite. She's too busy for the dog, so she's probably in the living room now. But
she's better at games than you are.
Shh. Okay, I don't think she's here actually. Wait, let's try one more time.
But
she's here somewhere. Yeah.
in the future, you can distract her with a cute kitten. So and
Yeah,
then you can beat her in the game.
we actually need to get them to be used to each other because we go to cabin a lot, and I have to have the cat with me now. So after a couple of weeks, they're gonna meet each other. She's good with like cats and so on, but it's dogs that she hates.
It's a small, cute thing. I'm sure she'll like it.
No, she doesn't want to. She's busy sleeping. So hopefully they can go well together. Otherwise, it's going to shit every time we go into the cabin. Well, she and Fumble went well together, but they kind of grew up together. So, yeah. So every time like my sister has like what the fuck are they called? Jack Russell Terrier.
Oh, okay.
And he's no, she's really used to cat, like the cat that my sister has. They like chasing around each other and so on. But Fumble is not used to being chased by a little miniature dog thing, so he got scared the fuck out of. So he was gone, like at the cabin. He ran away, and I had to go back to the cabin after the Easter. I was there for like a whole weekend just to make sure he came back to get food at least, because he was so fucking scared. So after 5 or 6 days, he was like 1 year old. Yeah, 1 year old actually, exactly 1 year old. So I had to stay at the cabin for like a couple more days just to make sure he gets food and shit. Because my sister's dog scared the shit out of him. I just want to play. Fuck it all. Jack Russells. Crazy dogs.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can get used to each other. Shit. Maya. Oh, her name is Maya, by the way. Maya. Let me hear you Brit say it. Pointy.
Maya.
Yeah. Close enough. Close enough.
Is there special meaning to the word?
No, it's not a common word, but not uncommon either. But it's all like my 2 nephews. It's a mix between my daughter's name and my nephew's names. So they just combined the letters, and it actually became Maya. So I don't know. Ask Clyde why he bullies Canadians. Wait, because
they're just so polite and easy to bully.
Oh,
that's not true at all.
Toxic. There you go. Oh, you messaged with us because you said it too quickly. No. Oh, god damn it. You're toxic. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Ralak. Okay, Ralak finished off for me. There you go. Canadians is never nice, guys. Just remember that. Just keep in mind. Sadly, I moderated Pokey, so he's forever stuck with me. Yeah.
Well, you know what they say. Yeah. Keep your friends close and your Canadians closer?
Further away, rather, but some of them are sugar dads as well, so I'm stuck with them. So, thank you, Ralak, for helping. Thank you. So, yeah.
If your enemy is closer, that's why cats cuddle with you, right?
Yeah. No, he's just watching you, actually. He's the master of the house, so he's just making sure you are doing your thing. That is all.
Well, you know, humans have to be properly supervised, or else we might do unauthorized things.
Hold. There you go. No. Give it a second, Pokey. Give me a second. There you go.
Thanks for all those gift subs, by the way.
Yeah, like these guys who I've gifted to they gave a shit ton of gift subs to me as well and shit. So, well, not Pokey, never does anything nice, but yeah, there you
So
go.
shall we wrap things up then? Now that we've talked about the most important topic, that is cats.
Yeah, I mean, it took us many episodes to actually talk about cats on the Catributors.
Wait, you never talked about cats before?
I mean,
you just waited for me to get
only slightly.
This is probably the first proper discussion where we've just talked about cats for like 15 or 20 minutes.
Let's talk about how we started on the subject. Sam showing his pink stuff. I'm just saying. He's a conversation starter. He's like, how's the weather? Oh, the weather's sure nice. Oh, this guy's showing his pink thing. What's saying more than that?
Well, it's like Oscar Wilde said, the only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about, and I'm sure Sam would say the exact same thing.
Well, it's all PRs and good PRs, what Wargaming says as well, probably.
Well, Wargaming's been showing their butthole, metaphorically speaking, quite a lot as well recently. So,
oh, good old
I
Wargaming.
know
Should we
that
make a
bombshell.
Wargaming bingo? But should we make like a Wargaming bingo? You guys should do that for next podcast. Let's cross off what they did, like fired, scammed, more loot boxes, rigged loot boxes, which have probably always been. Anyways. Yeah. That's all I have. I could probably talk all night about Wargaming, but I shan't.
Oh, there is a question. If Wargaming invited us all back to an ECC program, would you consider it? I mean, the thing is...
That's an interesting question. Yeah.
The thing is, first we need to see some promises actually being kept, right? So personally, I would say at least I want to see how they handle like Christmas loot boxes. And that also gives some time to see how, if they seem trustworthy, but then if they've actually improved stuff, right? They have talked so much, now we'd actually need to see action, right? If by Christmas or if by early next year, it looks like they're actually keeping some of the promises and they're improving, and they'd have like a program where they'd make me feel like you could be listened to again and so on, then maybe, yeah. But not... I can't see them doing anything this year that looks attractive enough or that looks trustworthy enough that I would consider it.
And also, it would feel better if we went in as a group. Like, we had a small group that actually went out first. Well, not a small group. It was actually a pretty good, big group after a little while.
Mm.
But if most of the people agree to consider it, if they've done this and that to improve things, I probably would say yes, no matter what. Unless of that, I need to see everything improve that we've been raising concerns about. Especially the whole feedback part and where we getting fucking spread. We even had on the CC Discord, we had an emote or reaction. We used it as a reaction. What Flambas can't stand, which is icon of the spreadsheet program. Yeah, that was like every fucking time they came with some shitty ass fucking response. We just what Flambas can't stand as that actually kind of slapped Octavian back in the face because Octavian actually added that as an emote, and every time they put out some shit, spreadsheets, or when people are asking a legit question on concerns, whatever, we just reacted to that one with spreadsheets because we know Wargames are just going to ignore that feedback because we don't know shit. Apparently, we're the vocal minority, as we call the XCC Discord, by the way. Vocal minority, Especially with people like Flambas, Jingles, and Gibbons and so on, with how many average views is like at least 800 average views per film. Vocal minority. That's what we're called. So yeah.
I don't think I would come back at this point. I've already quit and rejoined once.
Oh yeah, you have, yeah.
With promises that things would
I have a 50-50. I'm at 50-50 if things improve. But I can see where you're coming from. I remember Pointy back when he left the program. I can't remember. When did we get to know each other? Before you joined the program?
Maybe. I can't remember.
No, it was before. I'll be 100% because I'm pretty sure you asked me how the CC program is.
Maybe.
Compared to all times, because you left during the Frosh incident.
Yeah,
right?
I waited for nearly
another Wargaming shitfest, by the way. I digress. So, Pointy joined back then, and it was actually pretty good back then. So I could recommend. I'm so sorry, Pointy. I'm sorry for the harm of.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm just sorry.
I'm 100% blaming you.
I'm sorry. You're sorry. So you can blame me. But I'm pretty sure you are somebody else as well, right?
No. The way you do it is you find someone else to be the scapegoat for you. You don't get any personal responsibility at all.
Oh, poor thing. Oh, And you also had who else left the World of Tanks? There was Jingles left.
Yeah,
And joined World of Warships.
I can't remember who else. There was a couple of others as
Rita
well.
did after a little while after Jingles, I believe. And who else?
Feels like so long ago now. God, we've been doing this
Yeah.
for a while.
And Jingles left also the Wartunner program around the same time because Guardian and Wargaming found, let's DMCA some people. Like,
Oh
that's
yeah,
when Jingles left both programs. I don't think
there as well.
I don't think Jingles is in. He's not on the Guardian CC Discord. I think.
I don't know. I didn't go back for that. And,
no, I don't think. I think it just mixed content.
It was only World of Tanks that he came. World of Warships that he came back for. He kind of issued going back.
Well, he's not on the CC Discord, so yeah, it's probably the Guardian one. So need a whole wiki for to archive all of the wargame disasters.
You could write a book about it.
Yeah, it's probably as big as Macca's Blacklist, Pocky. Probably. You need to get Pointy into what on the CC program. Well, that would be interesting. Same with you, Ethan.
I don't play War Thunder.
Well, it's pretty fun. Come on. You guys need to give it a shot. You guys need to give it a shot.
I've dipped in and out. I've even bought stuff occasionally for War Thunder, but it's never quite.
But it's the tank stuff that's fun.
Grabbed me the same way.
But the thing is, like, compare Guardian to Wargaming. No, I've been in the Guardian program for a year now, and I left Wargaming after 4 almost. There's a big difference. Is like Guardian don't expect to talk to devs at all. You don't see devs there. You only see the community matches are great. I love them, but it's not the same as Wargaming was. It's like Wargaming is now, actually.
You're making a very good. You're selling this very well.
You get free stuff. You get free stuff.
Oh,
and
well,
you get to talk to other people.
Yeah. In fact, if that's all there is, I might as well.
Yeah, that is actually kind of what it is. Now, you get
program.
test vehicles. You actually get to test vehicles. Yeah, we do get to test vehicles. Unlike in World of Warships, where we don't get to test vehicles before launch. So that's good. You get exclusive PTS access, you get free stuff, then you get free stuff.
The thing is, the gameplay never really interested me that much from War Thunder. It's more realistic, but that never has appealed to me. That has actually made it a lot less attractive.
Yeah,
the tanks part.
What? It's better. Come on. Well, World of Tanks is like radio-controlled tanks. While Botan actually feels like you're driving on big meaty tanks with big engines and big guns. It's such a difference. I was only at tier 5. No, tier 6 in World of Tanks. Before I just gave up. But War Thunder, should we play War Thunder? No, I can't because it's crashing a lot because the devs are not fixing the game. I forgot about that part.
You're a great salesperson. Tell me more about how everything is shit there.
No, it's actually like other than not getting much feedback from the devs, it's actually pretty fun. Nice CCs that's already there. Nice people to talk to. And nice little community is like World of Warships, so it's like 50-50. No, 25, 25, 25, 25. But yeah, somewhat the same kind of community. I do like myself there. It's not the same as Wargaming though. Not now, but it's not the same as how it was when me and Pointy and you started. When did you start ATM? You was in the beginning, right?
The Catributor program, yeah.
Yeah, because the global one, I got approved before the global program got introduced.
Yeah, I think I
was. I didn't officially.
I think I joined like half a year or so before you did.
Nah, wait. No, I can't check now because I'm not on that CC Discord anymore. I can check where I get the mail from Conway. So I talked to Conway. Well, I did talk to Croissants before that, but yeah. So the first message with Conway was September 9th. Wow, it's actually yesterday was 4 years. So yeah, 9th of September, 2017. Jesus, almost 4 years. And Pointy joined like a year after.
Yeah, definitely. The global reorganization thing happened during the time I was away.
Yeah. What do you think the future is for the new warship lines in like 2023? They already done the paper line like Soviet Sea and stuff. You haven't seen the whole super ships thing? The grand battles? That probably might be tier 11. I don't know. We'll see.
So I just checked my messages, and I was approved to the program on the 16th of January 2017.
Ooh. So you were before the global one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I joined back when we did.
Well,
I got 14 Valentine's camels in the first year. That was all we got.
So basically, wait, hold 2 seconds. Oh, wait. Have it in here.
We're going to turn into like a 3-hour stream at this rate.
That's fine.
So you actually, Ethan, you got this kind of t-shirt?
Yes.
Yeah. That's because we joined before the global one. So I can't remember, so I was before.
We were both wearing that same t-shirt in Berlin, by the way.
We were?
Yes.
I can't remember that. So old CC talking. Yeah, so I can't remember because I talked to Croissantos first, but I don't have that message anymore because it was on mail or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
officially was one, well, in fall, around now.
Basically, I applied to the program with a message on the forums to
Yeah, I don't think I have anything now.
And so I could just check my forum messages when they answered me.
Jesus, so you've been there for 5 years, almost.
It's 4.5 of.
Jesus. Yeah. So unofficially, I've probably been. I would think it was May or something, around March, May. I don't know when I talked to Croissantos about it. But I got told by him to hold off on it because we are working on the global one. And then I pinged him again. Then he didn't respond. Then I pinged Conway, and then I got invited to the global one. No, I was frustrated one that I think I'm still in it. Wait.
Yeah, like when I joined, they didn't have guidelines for joining. They were like, if you are a content creator and you've been creating content for like, I think at least 3 months or so, you can apply or so. And I just basically sent them a forum message with links to my stuff and be like, hey, I'd like to join this program, and wrote them a bit about me. And then I waited, I think, 3 months or so. And then I got the answer, you're in.
Don't tell anybody, but I'm in the World of Tanks community content. Because that was the global one before, and then they renamed it to World of Tanks, apparently. I'm still in it. But I have reduced roles, so I can't see anything.
Okay.
Don't worry, Wargame. Don't worry. World of Tanks Community Contributors Program, General Rules and Guidelines. Apparently I'm here. I knew I'd seen a star somewhere. Yeah, everything is locked, though. So
yeah, they had like this global one, and then they had like an EU. Like there were like 2 Discord servers before the third one that we all ended up in. And one of the older ones, I think, got like a World of Tanks one. I left it a long time ago.
Yeah, the one with the star in it. There's a black star. Wargaming star, like the t-shirt.
I remember back when it was all done through Skype.
Wow.
Yeah, actually.
How old are you?
when I joined, I think that the Discord started later, right? I think I was there before the Discord.
Skype, that would have been back sort of 2015, 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, I joined the beginning of 2017.
Damn it, I'm out of beer.
Yeah, I mean, my beer is basically almost empty too, so I guess we can just call it a day here.
Yeah.
Will we wander any more into the...
Wait, did we check Twitter? There might be some new stuff now. Just give me a second.
It's already been like 20 minutes since your last check.
Yeah. It's been a while in Wargames book. I'm kind of disappointed, or should I be happy?
Let's go with happy.
Happy?
Whole hour and a half without setting anything more on fire.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's stop it there. Okay, I'm not going to look more. So let's end it on a positive note.
Exactly. There are even 2 cats on the cam right now. Isn't that nice?
But it's 2 cats.
Damn, I think there's like a spider or something. He's pawing around at the edge of the carpet. So his hunter instincts have clearly kicked in.
God, hunting.
He's a mighty
Well. But
Yeah. So you all guys know where to find Clyde on his Twitch. He also has a YouTube. He has a Twitter. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. And you'll see us again in the future.
Poodles.
Bye.
Bye.
I need to wave as well, yeah. There we go.